Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a pregnancy Q&A. This has been long awaited. I'm almost 9 months pregnant, so here I am finally filming this before I'm not pregnant anymore. But I did ask you guys, I need to scroll on my phone to find these questions because it was a while ago. I asked you guys to ask me questions 2 months ago. So without further ado, I'm just gonna answer some questions you guys have just kind of related to this pregnancy. Sammy asked, is this your last baby? And yes, this is our last baby. Patrick and I decided, honestly, before we had Hazel, that we wanted to have 3 kids, or 3 was a really good number for us. And I definitely know now for a fact I don't have my 3rd kid here yet physically, but I know from this pregnancy, and I knew before this pregnancy, that the 3rd will be the last. So this baby girl is going to be our last baby. It's not going to be a possibility for us to have any more children after this. I am very young. I am 23 years old, but all I ever wanted was 3 kids. I always wanted to have all of my kids young, and especially since I had my first at 18, not planned. After that, I kind of was like, well, why stop now? I might as well just have all of my children young. I wanted them before 30. I'm 23, I'm gonna have my 3 kids, and we're good. No more babies for me. Pregnancy, giving birth, breastfeeding, it is a lot. For me personally, mentally, that's the part that affects me the most. All of that, all the hormones that come with it, and how demanding it is, and how physically tolling it is. Everyone's experience is different with pregnancy, postpartum, birth, breastfeeding, all of those things. Of course, after I'm done going through each of those phases with this baby, I'm ready to close that chapter and never open it back up again. I will be so content with my 3 children. I'm ready to, get my body back, feel like myself again. Although this pregnancy was not planned, none of my pregnancies were, it was like a blessing in disguise, because I'm able to kind of close this chapter of my life sooner than I thought I was going to, because initially we had said we'll wait till Hazel's 3 to try for another baby, but things happen. Here we are. I'm about to have our 3rd baby in a month. This question says, were you planning for baby number 3, or was she a fun surprise? So like I just answered, she was not planned. The pregnancy wasn't planned at all. I honestly wasn't expecting to be pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. It was a huge shock to the both of us. The way I found out though is just I don't know, it's mind-blowing to me. So I'll go ahead and tell the story right now, since I never did. So I actually made a vlog about this. Of course, I didn't vlog the parts that I'm about to explain to you. I just didn't go into full detail about it, but back in, I think it was May, I went to the emergency room for heart palpitations, and I've dealt with heart palpitations pretty much my whole life. I just have them on and off here and there, whatever. And I went in there, I think from what I can remember, I was supposed to get my period within the next couple days. I didn't even miss my period yet, okay? I had awful heart palpitations. I seriously was so short of breath. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I was dizzy. It was so hard for me to breathe. They were really bad. So that's why I went to the emergency room. And basically, long story short, when we were in there, the doctor had told me that I had high levels of D-dimer, I think is what it was called, and that either happens if you have blood clots, from what I can remember. I don't know, I might be saying this completely wrong, but he said you either have blood clots or you could be pregnant, because you do have high levels of that when you are pregnant. And he was like, is there any chance you could be pregnant? And there's always a chance that you can be pregnant. So they did a pregnancy test on me before they were gonna CAT scan me, because they had done x-ray and everything and they still couldn't figure it out. So they were gonna do a CAT scan on me, and I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, okay, yeah, do the pregnancy test. Like I wasn't like scared that it was gonna be positive, really had no reason to be, you know, I was just like, okay. And then I remember when the nurse came in the room and she took my test and she set it down. I remember looking at her face and reading her body language, and I just had this feeling. I had this feeling that that test was positive. And I don't think she could say anything because she was the nurse, so she just like left the room. And then like a couple minutes later, I hear them talking in the hallway, and I hear the doctor be like, all right, yeah, I'll go tell her. So I'm like, I brace myself, and he comes in, he goes, so, you know you're pregnant, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, it was just like total shock. I don't know, it's the weirdest thing ever having somebody else tell you you're pregnant, especially when you have no hint, you have no suspicion of being pregnant. Like I've had several pregnancy scares throughout my life. We've had oopsie moments where I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get pregnant from that. You know, like I've had those moments, or I've had feelings, like I've had symptoms. I'm like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm pregnant. But I had absolutely no symptoms other than the heart palpitations, which now I know was from the pregnancy, but I had no symptoms. Like I didn't even miss a period, no pregnancy symptoms. I felt completely normal. I didn't have a gut instinct feeling. I didn't have like a reason to think I was pregnant. Like there wasn't really any oopsie moments, but like I said, like it can just happen. And I guess I'm just really freaking fertile and lucky, which I'm very grateful for. I was so shocked. Like I was so shocked. So shocked. I was all alone as well in the emergency room. So when I found that out, and I had also just got done breastfeeding Hazel. I stopped breastfeeding Hazel at 15 months. I had that like freedom again within my body, and I was able to just kind of do things without having to worry about nursing her or what I'm putting in my body as far as it like affecting her. And I felt that freedom again. My postpartum depression and crippling anxiety started to dwindle away. Because it stuck with me for a long time after Hazel. I struggled really bad with Hazel. Never really talked about it, maybe on the surface level, but I struggled so bad with Hazel. So I didn't really want anything to do with pregnancy anytime soon. So all the emotions I felt when that doctor told me, because at this point Hazel was around like 18 months, so it was only 3 months after I had, you know, started to just feel back to normal again, and my body quit breastfeeding. Bam, you're pregnant, surprise. I had a mental breakdown and I cried in the emergency room, and there was a lot of emotions, just like initial shock. I think most of it was shock. Most of it was just truly shock. This was like the most, I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What's gonna happen to me? I was really scared for my mental health again because of how much it got just flipped 360, completely wrecked, destroyed, punched in the face, hit with the bat, exploded. Like when I was pregnant with Hazel and also postpartum, I was just really scared because I had just healed from that, and I was like still healing and still trying to like work on myself, and I had just started eating healthy, and I was losing a lot of weight. Oh my God, there's just so many emotions that went into it. And also just like, I doubted myself. Can I handle 3 kids? How am I gonna do this with it was mostly, my worries were with a 2-year-old and a newborn, which, you know, these are all normal feelings, especially when you're in shock and it's something that you weren't expecting. They're just normal feelings. I had a lot of feelings, and now looking back on it, I'm just like, okay, you're really dramatic. But at the time, it was a big deal to me, and it's just what I felt at the time. But now, you know I can do it. I'm confident in myself. I know that I can be the best mother to my 3 girls. I know that it will be fine. Of course, there's gonna be ups and downs. This pregnancy mentally for me has been great. I felt the best I felt mentally since probably Graceland was like 2, right around before I got pregnant with Hazel. So luckily I have not had any huge struggles this pregnancy as far as like mental health wise, which is great. I feel like these hormones I got going kind of like balanced everything out. I'm a little nervous for postpartum, but I'm doing everything I can this time to like try and prevent any of those postpartum issues and just do the best I can to like really set myself up for success, even though sometimes it's inevitable. Like you can't control your brain and the chemicals in your brain, but you can make your surroundings what you put in your body. That plays a huge part. The things I'm eating, how active I am, how I'm taking care of myself, just things like that, you know, they play a huge part in how we feel. And that's something I've really learned in the past year. I've still been able to eat healthy. I didn't let that go this pregnancy, and I got lucky because, well, not so lucky, it's been really awful, but I have really bad food aversions and I can't eat like anything I used to. So it made me cut out a lot of the unhealthy things I was eating, or it just made it easier to not want them at all or crave them. So I hadn't gained any weight this pregnancy. I actually lost some because I was just so nauseous in the beginning. I wasn't able to eat, like I said, and it took me a while to figure out foods I can eat and foods I can tolerate. And it's changed throughout this pregnancy, like a lot. There's things that I can eat now that I couldn't eat in the first and second trimester. Still no onion and garlic and chocolate and pop and stuff like that. That's just repulsive to me. And meat, oh my gosh, I forgot meat. Occasionally I can eat bacon or ham or like sometimes beef, but any other, like chicken, oh my gosh, repulsive. I cannot. And I can tell you right now that with those changes in my diet that I made before I was pregnant, and then also the changes I had to make once I got these food aversions, such as all the things I just listed, not eating those things, I feel entirely different. It's crazy how much your diet can affect the way you feel. I only really drink water now, occasionally tea. But what I was saying before is I only lost weight and then I got back to like my weight that I started at when I first got pregnant. And then now I think the other day at the doctor I had gained 5 pounds from my first appointment, which was like, I don't know, I think it was like 9 weeks pregnant or something. And the baby weighs like, probably everything in there entirely weighs like 5 or 6 pounds. The baby, the placenta, the fluid, everything. So I don't even think that weight is me. So, but everything's healthy and fine, you know, baby's growing great. So yeah. This question says, which I've been getting this question a lot. It says, are the girls going to share a room? So no, they're not gonna share a room. Technically, we have 4 bedrooms in our house. There's 3 like legit bedrooms that were built to be bedrooms upstairs, but we also have our downstairs, which I don't really know what that was meant to be, because if it was meant to be a living area, that would mean this house has 3 living areas, because we have our front living area right here. We have our back one, which that was added onto the house. That wasn't originally built. It's like, you know, a great room. We call it the living room, but that was added on. So it wasn't originally what this house was built to be. And then there's the downstairs, which is considered like another living area, but right now we use it as a playroom. And then Patrick like has his computer and desk down there. And then we have a couch to fill the space down there. Gigi's home from tumbling. 1 second. I had to talk to her about her tumbling. Oh my gosh, that made me so out of breath. So we had 2 options that we were kind of pondering on about, because I don't really want them to share a room. I just want everyone to have their own rooms. I shared a room with my sisters growing up, and I don't have an issue with it. I just feel like if they can have their own rooms, then they'll have their own rooms. We thought about the idea of like putting up walls to block off this front room, because as you guys know, this is kind of like a for show room. It's like useless. We call it our sitting room. I have like 2 sitting chairs up here. I have like my china cabinet to display pictures, and I have my desk, and then like just decor. It's a pretty decent sized room. We just don't really use it. It's just like for show. So we thought, well, why not turn it into a bedroom? But after we thought about it, I was like, it's probably gonna be a lot of money. I don't know if we want to throw a lot of money into this house. Like, I don't know if we want to stay here as long as I originally thought, like the original plan. I don't know. I never really looked into it to see how much it would cost, but we were basically gonna turn this room, like block off the dining room, put a wall, and block off the like the entryway to our house, put a wall and a door right there, and then like build a closet and stuff, and then this would be our bedroom. But I think for now, for the time being, maybe we'll do this one day if we decide we want to stay here for longer. I don't know, but we are going to turn the downstairs room, so the playroom, into our bedroom. That room down there already has, I feel like it was used as a bedroom at one point because it had a door on it. They took the door off, like when we moved in, there was no door. It's just like a open room that you can walk into, but there is a door for it. It's in our garage. And then it does have 2 closets already. So it's almost as like it was meant to be a bedroom, or really whatever you wanted it to be, but we're gonna turn that into our bedroom, not anytime soon. I didn't want to do it while I was pregnant, and we need to get some stuff like fixed down there before we do it anyways. So obviously the baby is gonna sleep in our room with us for the first few months, like in the bassinet anyways. So it's not like a rush thing, but that's basically, Patrick is vacuuming right now. Our bedroom will be the downstairs, and it's going to be a huge upgrade. I've never had a bedroom that big, so it's really exciting. I've always had pretty tiny bedrooms, so that room down there, it's like long and narrow, but it's long, so it's definitely bigger than any room I've had. So that'll be like a project itself, and then they will all have their own bedrooms, unless for some reason something comes up and we decide to move. Which, like, that's not the plan, but like, you never really know. I can't, like, never say never. If we did ever move again, it would be very specific. I honestly wish that we could pick up our house right now and put it out a little bit in the country, like on a piece of land. That would be ideal, but that's not possible. This question says, do you guys have names picked out for baby girl? I feel like we went through every girl name possible with Hazel, and it was such a struggle because the both of us just couldn't agree on anything. But we have come to an agreement on one name that we both like, a first and middle name. We're not gonna announce her name until after she's born because we don't even know her name until she is born. This one says, why did you wait so long to announce the pregnancy? So I didn't wait any longer than I did with Hazel. I waited till I was like around 20 weeks, which is the same time I waited with Hazel. Just personally, I like the privacy, like revolving around the first few months of pregnancy. I don't need any bad energy. Everyone has like their own preference on when they want to announce their pregnancy. It's completely up to them. It's honestly nobody's business. Like, nobody needs to announce their pregnancy to anyone if they don't want to. But obviously, you know, I wanted to eventually share that. I also, just from past, maybe you could call it trauma, I don't know, I've had a traumatic experience. My pregnancy with Gracelyn was just a trauma within itself. Specifically, the 20-week ultrasound, very traumatizing for me. So I like to wait until after 20 weeks, after the anatomy scan, make sure everything's good, because to me, that's like the point where I feel comfortable announcing the pregnancy. I know some people feel comfortable after 12 weeks, or they feel comfortable right away. But for me personally, I feel comfortable sharing with everyone and feeling confident in my pregnancy after 20 weeks. This question says, are you nervous having another little one so close in age to Hazel? So like I had mentioned, when I like found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like a 2-year-old and a newborn. But obviously Hazel has grown so much since then. It's been almost 9 months, and they change and grow so much at this age. Hazel is freshly 2, but I think my groceries just got dropped off at my house. Daddy. Oh, it's Daddy. He's bringing them in. I wouldn't say I'm nervous. I'm just more so like interested to see like how it's gonna go, because I know there's gonna be like ups and downs, pros and cons, just like every situation. I'm not like scared or anxious about it, or like thinking about it a lot, or it's like a huge fear of mine, because I know that it'll be fine. And I'm sure there'll be days where it'll be really difficult, because at the end of the day, she is 2, and 2 is like a hard age within itself. Hazel's also pretty like glued to me. I feel like all of my children are, but at 2 years old, they're like the most glued to you, I feel like, at that age. So I am I'm a little nervous on how she is going to take us bringing a baby home and then caring for that baby. And obviously newborns need a lot of attention. I know that I can like divide my attention. That's not what I'm worried about. I don't want her to like have negative emotions towards it. So maybe I'm nervous about that. But then again, like I know everything will be fine. So I'm not sitting around stressing about it. For Gracelyn, if you're curious about Gracelyn, like how I feel about that, I'm not nervous for her at all. She is a baby lover. She's like a second mom. She's the best helper ever. I don't even ask her to help me. She wants to help so much with Hazel, always has, still does, even though Hazel's 2. It annoys the crap out of Hazel sometimes because Gracelyn's very like a little mommy to her, but Gracelyn is over the moon. I had a question that was like, how did Gracelyn react to me telling her I was pregnant? I recorded it and oh my gosh, it was just the cutest thing ever. She was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just the cutest thing ever. She was so excited. Every single day she hugged my belly and she's like, my baby sister. And she's already like the best big sister to Hazel. So I know that she's gonna be a great sister to her new sister. There's a lot of sister language going on right now. I'm confusing myself. She's counting down the days. Honestly, she knows the baby's due in January. Daddy went outside, honey. Babies are one of her favorite things. She just loves them so much. She has so much love. She's so empathetic and she's so good with them. So I don't really have any worries there with Gracelyn. She's also just like a lot older now. She's very independent. She doesn't require as much attention as like a toddler would, and it's just gonna be different. It's definitely not her responsibility to like do anything for me, but I just know the way she is that she's going to be so helpful. She's gonna be so helpful with me or for me when I have the baby, because like I said, she's already helpful just naturally on her own with Hazel and with me. She's so sweet. Like if I'm not feeling well, she'll just come up and like rub my back or scratch my back, or she'll be like, Mommy, do you need something? Like, do you need me to get you something out of the fridge? Like, she is naturally so empathetic and caring. I want to like cry right now talking about it because she's just so sweet and caring. She cares so much about the people that she loves. I kind of went off topic there a little bit. This question says, did you have gender disappointment? I did not. I wasn't hoping for a boy or a girl. I don't really care. I've never really cared. I can totally understand people who have it. I have just never experienced it or never felt it. I look at it personally as like, if my baby's healthy, that's all I really care about. Before we found out that this baby was a girl, which we found out at like I think it was like 11 weeks when we found out, because I did the blood test, and then obviously like it was confirmed through ultrasound twice. With each of my kids, I always had like this gut feeling and this instinct, I guess motherly instinct, that they were girls. Like with Gracelyn, I knew it was a girl. I had this feeling. With Hazel, I knew it was a girl. But with this baby, and I think it's just because my pregnancy has been so opposite, like polar opposite than my pregnancy with the girls, I just assumed this must mean it's a boy. But you know, those old wife tales, I didn't really ever look into them, but it doesn't really matter how you feel at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel, how you carry, how you look, whatever. I don't believe any of that stuff, especially because like I'm having another girl and I feel completely different. I carry differently this pregnancy than I have my last two. There's just a lot of things different about this pregnancy, but I did think, like I was almost positive that was gonna be a boy. So I was like shocked that it wasn't, because I was like, well, why do I feel so different? But at the same time, I wasn't shocked because like, well, we already have two girls. So either way though, I was happy. I'm very happy that we are having a girl. I'm definitely a girl mom. I was definitely meant to be a girl mom. Patrick was for sure meant to be a girl dad. He is happy as well. It's just like what we're used to. There's two questions around like how I'm feeling. So it said, how are you doing this pregnancy mentally and physically? And then how does this pregnancy compare to others? So like I said, mentally I'm great. I kind of touched on that. Physically, so that's one thing that's different with My pregnancy with Hazel, like I said, I struggled hardcore mentally. That's completely different. This pregnancy with Gracelyn also I did, but there was like it was like circumstantial. Like there was reasons why it was very mentally exhausting, because it was just a very high risk, stressful pregnancy. Physically, I would say this has been the hardest pregnancy for sure. I can't remember. I'm so used to like the symptoms at this point. I can't remember, but I know that I had wrote them down. I kind of tracked my symptoms for a little bit in the beginning, just in case I wanted to like talk about them at one point. But in the beginning, like the very beginning, the first trimester, I had loss of appetite. I was extremely tired, falling asleep with the girls every night in their beds, can barely stay up during the day. So very exhausted, nauseous, horrible food aversions. Everything smells and tastes like onions. There was a point where everything smelled and tasted like onion. It didn't even matter if it had onion. It just did. It tasted and smelled like it. It was awful. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to plug my nose up with toilet paper, or like clip my nose, or just plug my nose, and I just couldn't, like, I really couldn't eat much. Fun fact, onion and garlic was my favorite food. It used to be my favorite food, and that's like my worst enemy now. I couldn't drink coffee. It was also a food aversion. It was extremely bitter and nasty, tasted like mold. I had really intense dreams. Toothpaste tasted like Chick-fil-A sauce, which was repulsive. The chapstick I've always used tasted like onions. And food that I loved, I can't think about, or I'll gag. And I gag while eating or thinking about nasty things. Once I got into the second trimester, I lost 10 pounds in the first trimester. Still had gagging. I had loss of balance. I was tripping, falling, and losing balance. I was craving meat to eat, and I had never craved meat before in pregnancy, or even really in general, which there was a point where I was eating steak a lot. I could eat steak, as strange as that is. I had a lot of like upper back pain, like around my kidneys. I don't know. I had the most energy in the second trimester. I wouldn't say I felt the best though, because I still had those aversions, and those just like, oh my God, they just control your life. They make it, it's so awful. Smell and taste. Awful. Imagine smelling the worst smell all day long. But once I got into the third trimester, I started to not smell as much, and if I did smell it, it wasn't as repulsive. Like I could deal with it. It wouldn't make me gag. It wouldn't make me want to throw up. Luckily, I don't think I've thrown up this pregnancy. There were times where I definitely wish I could have thrown up. Like I was so nauseous, I wish I could have thrown up. Like I was begging to throw up. Like I'd rather throw up at this point than be this nauseous. Like I really wish I could have thrown up. The food aversions got better. Eating got better. I don't know if it's just because I learned what not to buy, what not to smell, and just learned foods that I could eat and foods that I could tolerate and things that I could tolerate to smell. I don't know if it's that or it just got better. But like I said, if I did smell it, like I wasn't able to go to restaurants even. Well, one, because the smell, and two, because they didn't have anything for me to eat. I still can't really go to restaurants. There's a couple places I can go that I know there's like one thing on the menu that I can eat, but I haven't gone to like a sit-down restaurant in like, I don't know, 2 months. But now in the third trimester, I'm approaching 9 months pregnant. I'm just feeling so physically exhausted. This is probably the most physically painful pregnancy. It is my third pregnancy. It's gonna get worse. My muscles are all loose. My body is just like, I don't know, it needs to retire, honestly, after this pregnancy. I have really bad pelvic girdle pain. I think it's called like SPD. That is very painful. My pelvis pops and cracks, and it's very sore. Certain movements a different way can just be excruciating pain. I have a lot of back pain. I have a lot of contractions, but when I do have them, they come very consistently for like an hour or 2 hours, and then they just like go away for hours. So obviously they're not doing anything. My body is super weak. I'm very nauseous. That's another thing that's come back, the gagging and the nausea. I've been super nauseous every day, and I'm struggling again with eating. I was doing well with eating. I could eat things. I was able to eat 3 meals a day, but kind of now at this point, once again, I'm just eating things to not starve. Like I'm eating crackers and cheese and fruits and veggies and just eating whatever I can so that my stomach stays full and I don't faint from being deprived of food. I'm back at that point. Those symptoms from the first trimester have come back to haunt me in the third trimester. I have a lot of pressure and swelling down there. It is so unbearable sometimes that I can't even walk. It actually feels like, I'm not being dramatic, it feels like there's a head like right like in the area, in the pubic bone, like in the birth canal. It feels like it's right there, and when I walk it's so painful. It feels like everything's gonna fall out. There's so much pressure. It feels like I was beat with a bat down there, and it's like bruised. That's what it feels like. It's not actually bruised, but it feels like it's bruised internally and externally. And there's just like a lot of pain down there. So I've been resting for like the past couple days because I tend to overwork myself and I tend to do too much. And I just can't, like I can't do anything right now. I can't do a lot right now with this pressure and this pain, especially these contractions. I don't want to keep having contractions. If I get up and I walk for like more than 5 minutes, I will start having I will start contracting every like 3 minutes. So I'm just trying to take it easy. I've been trying to rest and take it easy because I don't need this pain, and I also don't need to have a baby yet. Not quite ready, not quite fully cooked yet. So I've also been super irritable lately. It's not something I want. I hate being irritable and like feeling like I don't have any control of it. I hate feeling like I have no patience with my kids, even though I try so hard. Like, oh my gosh, it's just those hormones, those third trimester hormones. Like, you're exhausted, you're in so much pain, you're having contractions, you're hungry. At least I am. There's nothing I can eat. I have kids already that I need to take care of with like energy levels of a -10, and I'm getting very little sleep at night because I'm not able to sleep very well. My sister did give me a pregnancy pillow and I tried it out for the first time last night, and oh my gosh, life-changing. I never understood really the point of them. I was like, why can't you just use normal pillows? But I get it now because my body is like about to fall apart in this pregnancy, and I get it now. They're amazing. It works so well for me. I was able to like not toss and turn so much last night, and I was able to get like a solid 6 hours of sleep, which for me is impressive. I'm honestly just trying to survive at this point. I'm just trying to take it day by day, survive, take care of my girls, and keep myself alive. And I know that I don't have much longer to go, so I'm chugging along. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to keep myself comfortable and not do too much for the rest of this pregnancy, because just like within the last week, my body's like, you're done. You're done. You're not doing anything. Like, I don't even carry in the groceries. I try not to pick her up anymore. I just, like, anything I can avoid, I'm trying, because it's ridiculous how much it can affect my body. Like, ridiculous. I love having a belly, and I love feeling the baby like move and kick and seeing the baby on ultrasound. Like, I love all the fun parts, but like, I mean, who likes the horrible parts of pregnancy? I don't know anyone that would like enjoy that. Very thankful, but pregnancy is like not that fun. It's honestly not. It's honestly been awful for me, not gonna lie. Oh, also I've had a lot of back pain. I've had shoulder pain and arm pain. My arms are sore. My whole body's weak. Like, I feel like my legs are noodles. My arms are noodles. I mean, I can just keep going, but I'll stop myself. This question says, how do you manage to get rest given that you have 2 young kids and 1 on the way? So, it's difficult. I've mentioned it before, but Patrick works nights, and that means that I obviously have to get up with them if they get up at night. Hazel, we are just having a little bit of issues ever since she turned 2. We're trying to get her to sleep in a big girl bed now, and it's just been a transition. That's been very exhausting. On top of everything else I'm dealing with, I'm doing that at night. I'm trying to like get her to stay in her room and get her to go to bed and sleep in her big girl bed, and some nights it's like a 3-hour ordeal, and some nights she will stay asleep and then she'll wake up and then it's like another 2-hour ordeal. So by the morning, like on top of me not being able to sleep just because of the way I feel and I'm uncomfortable, I also like have been dealing with her and trying to get her to sleep. Patrick and I allow each other to get sleep at different parts of like the day. So since he's not here at night, once he gets home in the morning, he's the one who will do the morning routine with them. He will take Graceland to school. Recently, he's just been taking her and letting me sleep because I'm so freaking exhausted, and I will sleep sometimes till like 12 or 1. He'll take Graceland to school. He'll get them breakfast. He'll stay up with them, stay up with Hazel, and take care of her until I wake up at like noon or 1 so I can just get some sleep. And then when I wake up, obviously he needs to sleep because he's been awake since like 5 p.m. the previous day. So then he sleeps and then I have their mouth the rest of the day and then he goes to work. So we both are allowing each other to get the sleep that we need. We obviously don't really get to see each other that much or spend that much time with each other, but that's just like, that's how it works right now. That's how it has to be. And that's how I get rest, is that, you know, we just like make sacrifices. He makes a sacrifice in the way that he just like loses sleep and stays up so that I'm able to get sleep, have energy to take care of them for the rest of the day while he sleeps from working the night before. Throughout the day, when it's just me and he's sleeping, I don't really get rest. Lately, I've been giving myself more grace lately, like I said, and I've not been doing much. I don't have much on my to-do list. I'm not setting these super high standards for myself. I'm preparing for postpartum because I'm not gonna have high standards then either. The type of person I am, I always like to stay busy and be very productive and get things done, but at this point physically, that's just, I can't do that. Like I need to look out for my body, myself, and the way that I feel. Although it is difficult to get rest with children during the day, I do make the best of it like I can. Like if I want to be sitting on the couch the majority of the day, I will obviously still make them all their meals, but I will get them things that we can do like that don't require a lot of like physical exertion from me, like playing board games or playing with Play-Doh or playing with crayons or coloring or painting, something to where I'm able to sit and rest but also entertain them. And then Patrick also can entertain them in other ways that like I really can't right now, like physically. Stuff that's like a little too much for me to do, like he'll do that with them once he's awake. I'm just trying to survive and keep my kids alive some days, so you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Are you gonna film the birth? The last birth vlog was so cute and funny. So I'm definitely going to film it for like personal memories. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna share of it. I probably will share some. I don't know if it'll be as much as I did the last time. They're in my car, I think. I know that birth vlog helped a lot of people out. It's very educational or informative, and it definitely shows the realness and the rawness of birth and postpartum, which I think needs to be talked about more for new moms who've never experienced it and they have no idea what they're going through, and people kind of show like the butterflies and rainbows and not like the bad parts. I feel like that's an important thing for people to see, so I probably will some parts. Well, that's gonna be it. I answered all the questions I had screenshotted on my phone, so thank you for asking those questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm having a contraction right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.